Hey, I'm going to tell you a story about somebody I know. Victimus Maximus. You know, I bet you might. And you'll see when I tell this story. The other day, Saturday morning, cooking up a storm. One of the things I'm throwing together is some spaghetti with clam sauce. It's one of my favorites. And the white, not the red. And I realized that this is a thing I share with probably nobody else, but that's okay. More for me. So anyway, I've got the sauce is simmering. I've got the pasta water getting just about ready to boil, and I look at the box. Now, I can't do wheat anymore. And I swore I grabbed a box of the gluten-free stuff. Except I took a look and I realized that I, in fact, had not. This was spaghetti with all the wheat. I couldn't use it. I had to toss it, and I had to go back to the store, which I had to shut my stuff off. And then I had to trudge back out. It was rainy and kind of crappy yesterday. And you know what? Market on Saturday morning is just not fun. And I was pissed. I'm like, I can't believe this is freaking happening. I can't believe I have to freaking go back to the store. I'm like, freaking my day up. And I'm like, and I was listening to my old friend, Victimus Maximus. He came in and was taken over. Poor me. How could this happen to me? Oh, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. I'm like the victimiest victim in the whole history of victims. Oh my God, in retrospect, I guess it sounds kind of annoying, but that's where my head was. And I know I've got a history of letting that stuff kind of get out of control. I know others feel that as well. And we'll kind of get to why in a second. I'm going to finish this story. I managed to catch myself about halfway through the trip, and it wasn't a long trip. There really wasn't that much inconvenience at all. It's like 5 minutes to the store. Maybe 20 minutes in there because it was crowded, and then 5 minutes back. Really. And I kind of caught myself, and instead of being irritated and miserable, I realized that what if I didn't see it? And what if I had eaten it? And I was just in misery and agony for a whole week. This is just a minor inconvenience. And, I was cool with feeling annoyed. You get to feel annoyed. Your plans kind of went awry. And it's okay to feel that way. So I got the pasta. It was in and out. Made the meal. Had it for dinner. It was bomb, by the way. But let's get back to Victimus Maximus. And, in a way, he does serve a purpose. He kind of helps you get attention sometimes because, we all love a good victim story. Let's face it. And that's just kind of, it allows us to feel sorry for ourselves. And it allows us to not look at what's really going on and actually deal with what we need to deal with. Which is what turns into the problem. You see, here's the thing. It's not about bottling up Victimus Maximus and trying to go into, everything is awesome mode. It's not about that at all. And we'll deal with everything is awesome and toxic positivity and in another video. I haven't really come up with a good name for that. But it may feel like Victimus Maximus helps us process our emotions because we're just yapping around and we're complaining and yelling and we're demanding attention and, we're channeling our inner Karen, and all that stuff. But it's kind of deceiving. What it does instead is it actually blocks us from focusing on the situation itself, how we feel about it, and what our thoughts are. It doesn't allow us to just address that and let it move on. It doesn't allow us to fix the pieces that need to be fixed. It kind of puts on a show and forces things to stick around a lot longer than they necessarily need to. No. I want to reiterate again, it doesn't mean that the negatives that trigger Victimus Maximus aren't legit. Not everything's going to be a silver lining or a lesson. In my case, it kind of was, but sometimes, negative stuff comes along and it just sucks. And it gets to suck. And there's no rhyme or reason or anything like that. But we get to feel it. And it's okay to feel all of it. Let it serve its purpose and move on. Don't let Victimus Maximus fool you. He's really not part of the process. He's part of what's blocking you from getting there. And you're never going to stop him or any of the other things our minds can construct. You're never going to completely stop them. They're always going to appear. But what we learn in the process is we don't have to lock on to what they're saying. We can learn to tune it out. Instead of owning it and letting it take over, it can be like, when the kids next door decide they want to learn to play drums. And, it's a lot of noise, but you'll learn to tune it out. And that's part of the journey and part of what we need to learn to do with Victimus Maximus and a few other characters. Glad I could share that with you, and have a great day. Be safe and be well.